What's up, guys? So we got another garden slash greenhouse tour.
Yeah, is it garden tour number 19?
Yeah, it would be 19, but it's greenhouse now.
Greenhouse tour number 1?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Greenhouse tour number 1.
Hey. The garden is pretty much all pulled out. We have taken everything out that we need to. There's a little bit of work we need to do before winter comes. We need to prune.
Yep. We got pruned fruit trees, and she was thinking about doing the raspberries.
Raspberry plants.
So,
and we've got a plan for the peppers. We got to get those plants out because we are going to do something with them this year that we've never tried before.
Which will be another video.
You'll see that one of these days.
Hopefully life don't get in the way.
Yeah, and then just a few plants that need to get pulled out of there. So, without further ado,
let's do this.
Come on. So, I'm not exactly sure if our radicchio in the back here came up or if we've just got weeds. We've never grown it before, but on the seed packet it looked purple, kind of like a purple cabbage. So that's kind of what I was expecting, and it looks like a little green weed. So I'm gonna let it go because nothing else is there anyways, and maybe it's how it starts. We'll have to do some more research. Obviously we did not thin our celery, which would have been great if we wanted this to get thick. You can tell some of the stalks that are a little bit bigger had a little more room to grow. We have harvested a little bit of this for salads, just like microgreens, which is what the seeds were that got planted here. But I think it needs to be thinned if we want some real celery out of here before it gets too cold.
So our carrots over here are coming up really good. I'm not going to water them. They're kind of moist yet because it stays pretty humid in here. And now that they're coming up, I'm going to let them go because I want to get the taproot go really deep. So I'm going to water them probably once a week and see how that works this time. Also the radishes are insane. They're still, the green pods, the seed pods are still green. And we've actually been snacking on them. And we had to say stop snacking on them because we're not going to have any seeds to save pretty soon. So I'm curious on how long that's going to take before they dry out. So I'm wondering if I just need to cut them plants and then hang them up so they dry. But the radish bulbs are huge. They're big. So they're doing really good. And then also this pepper plant. Like I've said in how many other ones, I just still am baffled. I can't believe it. All of these flowers that are on there, peppers, this is just insane. So I'm really curious on how this is all going to go this winter. I'm actually really excited. So I'm hoping that this plant will actually pull through, and then in January or February it can just light up with peppers for us. That would be really cool.
Our lettuce is growing slowly. It's growing, but it's growing slowly. It gets quite hot in here in the greenhouse during the day, so I think it can be a little too much for our lettuce. So I have a feeling as the days start getting colder, the lettuce is really gonna start popping. A few days ago we went through and we harvested our first batch of bush beans. I didn't end up pressure canning them like I hoped. Instead, we just froze them, just kind of for a quick side vegetable during the cold months.
So the tomato plant, yep, still growing. It's trying to go through the plastic. It's kind of funny how fast and how big this thing is growing, and it's just pretty amazing how the flowers are still on it. The tomatoes, the amount of tomatoes we're getting off it now, it's really just blows my mind. And I wonder how long also this is gonna last. So we're actually hoping, not hoping, we're going to. There's a couple of tomatoes over there that they're starting to blush last week. Well, tomorrow we're gonna be doing some BLTs with them. So dinner to plate. So how would you say that? It's not farm to table. No, we guys, some people say we're farmers, but I don't consider us farmers. It'd be plant to plate, or yeah, plant to plate. Tomato to plate, tomato, you know. You have these radishes. We have been harvesting the tops, and it's been about every other day consistently now, and putting them in our eggs. And we did some potatoes from the garden the other night, and our peppers. We had the whole meal was from our house, except for the chicken, which came from my uncle's house because he did it and we butcher over there. But the butter was the only thing that basically we didn't know where it came from. Well, except for the store, obviously. So it's pretty cool, you know, seeing all this and having the radishes. We actually took the radishes and chopped a bunch up and put them in the potatoes, and it adds a really, really good flavor. So for all of you that do not like radishes, try planting some and try the leaves, but also chop it up and put it in the dish, like with your scrambled eggs or potatoes or whatever, because it actually gives off a really good flavor in the food. It's really good. And then we also have this little tomato plant back here that I planted from that one. And look at this. It's got flowers. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers right here. These two are just starting to come out. So that was pretty cool. Get another plant coming. I'm hoping that this one will grow along the dirt. And we're going to, you know, cover it up. So with the hoops in here. So hopefully we can get that one to come through this winter. And then again, we would have a bunch of tomatoes in February.
So right here are our last batch of Paris Market carrots that we planted. These are a smaller carrot, so they're like short and stubby. And I pulled one the other day to see how big it was, and see, it's about maybe like 2 inches long, 1 inch wide, something like that. Anyways, we've been using the tops also in eggs, but I'm not really loving these Paris Market carrots. And we do still have some seed, but I bought so many variety of carrot seed this year that I think there's plenty of other ones we can try. So not my favorite. I don't even know when I planted them, but I feel like they should be ready. And our spinach, look at this spinach. It's big. The kids have been out here snacking on it. I think they like it more so because it's just the idea of something they can grab and snack from, like they could in the garden since we don't have any strawberries coming anymore. See that little honeybee? Since they don't have the strawberries and the green beans in the garden to snack on, this is something they can come and snack on. Although I did see somebody sneak in some bush beans the other day too. We are so excited because we are going to do BLTs for supper tomorrow night. We're going to use those blushing red tomatoes that Matt showed you. And I think we're going to use spinach. Is that wrong? That might be wrong. I don't know. But we're going to use spinach because our lettuce just isn't coming up yet.
So over here we have the Atomic Red carrots. And I haven't been watering these because I want the root to go deep on these two. But I've been doing it once a week. And I've been trying to keep the onions pretty moist with just doing misting every day. And then if it gets too hot in here, like if it's above 75 outside, typically it gets like it's in the hundreds in here. So I want to make sure that I keep this nice and moist in here. And so I just keep misting it once, if not twice a day. And I also do it to the spinach because I want it all moist. But you can see these onions are just jamming. They're doing really good, better than the ones we planted earlier this year. But then the reason why I'm keeping these so moist is because I noticed the spinach has been really moist. And there is an onion over there that planted by its, you know, from earlier this year. We, for some reason, didn't get the seed or whatever. And it is jamming. It's way bigger than these over here. So I'm like, it's got to be because we were putting so much water on there. So I'm trying it with these, and hopefully these start taking off too.
So we've pulled most of our dill out of the garden and the dill we had here in this box. We pulled all the seed that we wanted to save. I froze some. I also dried some. I also pulled quite a bit of dill weed and dried it because that is my favorite in salads. But I did leave some, and the reason is because all over our dill in the garden and up here, we have all sorts of swallowtail caterpillars. So check them out. So since we got all the dill we need, we figure we might as well share with them. They aren't really being a pest to us, so.
So we just got done and we sat down on the rock wall for a little while because it's warm in there. It is. It's really warm. But when you're out here, you got the breeze and you can smell the aroma of the honeybees up there. It smells really good. Mm-hmm. The gardening season's done with already, and it feels like we just were getting started.
It does. I mean, I think we had some really exciting things with our garden this year, but we also had some disappointments too.
Yeah. So I hope you like what you guys saw, and if you did,
give this video a thumbs up.
And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. And hit that notification bell so it tells you every time we come out with a funny video. Day in our lives. Wasn't that a TV show? No, Days of
Our Lives.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to change our titles to our videos to that.
All right, you guys. Glad you got to see us again.
Bye. Oh, how big is that, Matt? An inch?
That's what she said.